Is it? Okay. Maybe I will not share them. Let's see. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langete grimmatpatamam vande Sri Gurum Devataranam Paramanandamavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sandhu bhai vacha prasiddhanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Prabhu Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter 15, verse number 25. This is a discussion of Kingdom of God, verse number 25. This is a big purport on this verse. We'll see how much we can cover. Let me share the screen. Hopefully it will work this time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Okay, 3:15:25. Yaccha prajanti animisham vrishabhanuvritya dure yamahi vaparina spruhaniya sila vartar mita suyasasa katanuraga vaiklavya bashpa kalaya pulaki krutanga yaccha prajanti animisham anuvritya dure yamahi upari naspruhaniya sila vartormita suyasasa katanuraga vaiklavya bashpa kalaya pulaki krutanga yaccha vrajanti animisham rushabha anuvritya dure yamahi uparina spruhaniya sila vartormita suyasasa katanuraga vaiklavya bashpa kalaya pulaki krutanga. Word to word. Yat vaikunta cha and vrajanti go animisham the demigod Rushabha Anuvritya Dure keeping it alive Sila good katana by discussions discourses Anuraga attraction Vaiklavya eyes Pulakruta shivering Anga bodies. Translation by Sri says Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy and who breathe heavily and perspire due to the hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God, even though they do not care for meditation and other austerities. The kingdom of God is above the material universes and it is desired by Brahma and other demigods. Please repeat. Persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy and who breathe heavily and perspire due to hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God, even though they do not care for meditation and other austerities. The kingdom of God is above the material universes and it is desired by Brahma and other demigods. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is clearly stated herein that the kingdom of God is above the material universes. Just as there are many hundreds of thousands of higher planets above the earth, so there are many millions and billions of spiritual planets belong to the spiritual sky. Brahmaji states herein that the spiritual kingdom is above the kingdom of the demigods. One can enter the kingdom of the spiritual Supreme Lord only when one is highly developed in desirable qualities. All good qualities develop in a person of a devotee. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 12, that anyone who has Krishna consciousness is endowed with all the good qualities of the demigods. So, in the material world, the qualities of the demigods are highly appreciated, just as even in our experience, the qualities of a gentleman are more highly appreciated than the qualities of a man in ignorance or in a lower condition of life. The qualities of the demigods in the higher planets are far superior to the qualities of the inhabitants of this earth. Brahmaji confirms herewith that only persons who have developed the desirable qualities can enter into the kingdom of God. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, devotees' desirable qualities are described to be 26 in number. They are stated as follows. That's why his purport is big. He is very kind. He does not quarrel with anyone. He accepts Krishna consciousness as the highest goal of life. He is equal to everyone. No one can find fault in his character. He is magnanimous. He is peaceful, and he is the soul completely surrendered to Krishna. He has no material, always steady, and has conquered the sensual activity. He is never mad after material identity. He is respectful to all others and does not demand respect for himself, and very friendly. He is expert in all activities and is silent in nonsense. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 25th chapter, verse number 21, the qualification of saintly person are mentioned. It is said there that a saintly person eligible to enter into the kingdom of God is very tolerant, very kind to all living entities. He is not partial. He is kind to both human beings and to the animal. He is not such a fool that he will kill a goat Narayana to feed a human Narayana, or there is the Narayana. He is very kind to all living entities. Therefore, he has no enemy. He is very peaceful. These are the qualities of persons who are eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. That such a person gradually becomes liberated and enters into the kingdom of God is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 2. The Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, verse 24 also states that if a person does not cry or exhibit bodily changes after chanting the holy name of God without offense, it is to be understood that he is hard-hearted and that therefore his heart does not change even after the holy name of God. Hare Krishna. These bodily changes can take place due to ecstasy when we offenselessly chant the holy name of God. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It may be noted that there are 10 offenses we should avoid. The first offense is to decry persons who try in their lives to broadcast the glories of the Lord. Or the devotees who engage in preaching the glories of the Lord are never to be decried. It is the greatest offense. Furthermore, the holy name of Vishnu is the most auspicious name of the Lord. There are many foolish persons who say that one can chant Hare Krishna or chant the name of Kali or Durga or Shiva because they are all the same. If one thinks that holy name of Supreme Personality Godhead and the names and activities of the demigods are on the same level, or if one accepts the holy name of Vishnu to be material sound vibration, that is also an offense. The third offense is to think of the spiritual master who spreads the glories of the Lord as an ordinary human being. The fourth offense is to consider the Vedic literature such as Puranas or other transcendental scripture to be ordinary books of knowledge. The fifth offense is to think that devotees have given artificial importance to the holy name of God. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The sixth offense is to act sinfully. It is understood that one can be freed from all sinful reactions simply by chanting the holy name of God. But If one thinks that he is therefore at liberty to commit all kinds of sinful acts, that is the symptom of an offense. The eighth offense is to equate the chanting of Hare Krishna with other spiritual activities such as meditation, austerity, penance, or sacrifice. They cannot be equated at any level. Ninth offense is to specifically glorify the importance of the holy name before the persons who have no interest. The tenth offense is to be attached to the misconception of possessing something or to accept the body as oneself while executing the process of spiritual cultivation. When one is free from all 10 of these offenses and chanting the holy name of the God, he develops the ecstatic bodily features called Pulakasru. Pulaka means symptoms of happiness, and Asru means tears in the eyes. The symptoms of happiness and tears in the eyes must appear in a person who has chanted the holy name offenselessly. Here, in this verse, it is stated that those who have actually developed the symptoms of happiness and tears in the eyes by chanting the glories of the Lord are eligible to enter the kingdom of God. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that if one does not develop these symptoms while chanting the Hare Krishna, it is to be understood that he is still offensive. Chaitanya Charitamrita suggests a nice remedy in this connection. There it is said in the verse 31, chapter 8 of Adilila, if anyone takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya and just chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, he becomes free from all offenses. So, wow, what an important, amazing purport. So, let's try to understand here. So, the translation says, the persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy and who breathe heavily and prescribe due to hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God, even though they do not care for meditation and other austerities. The kingdom of God is above the material universes and it is desired by Brahma and other demigods. So basically, here it is been explaining, Prabhupada is explaining here, Maitreya is speaking to Vidura. And so, how to come to the ecstatic stage of life by following strict Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, the practice of devotion service. By Srila Rupa Goswami is given as per the word, very, very important. In Bhagavad Gita also we see in the 13th chapter, there is a 18 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. That 18 subject matters, one of them is important, which is Krishnaika Saranam, or surrendering to a spiritual master, is the very prominent out of many qualities one may have. So here also we see that word, where is that? Rishabha Anuvritya. See the translation, following in the footsteps. So unless we follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, the instructions, so it takes precedence, discussing in the previous class also, it takes even precedence over the shastra, over others, what they may say, other sadhus. So that's why we must give utmost importance to what Srila Prabhupada has said on any particular occasion or any situation. That's what will take precedence, because he knows exactly what is our adhikar, what is our platform. If we follow exactly as per his prescription, then there is a progress in our devotion service. Then there could be a transformation to the degree we progress. So that's how the spiritual intelligence and spiritual strength is given by the super soul to the soul, to the degree we are following the instructions of the acharyas. So that will begin with that chanting the holy name. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtana anusprutya rasana manase niyojya tishtan vaje tad anuragi jananugami kalam mayeda kilam iti upadesa saram. This is one of the most important verse of Srila Rupa Goswami Nectar Instruction, verse number 8, which is what is it called? Parivarsha Sutra of Nectar Instruction. This must be remembered, realized verse for a whole life. So starting with the chanting the holy name, Tannama Rupa Charitadi, and before that also is giving the pre-qualification for a devotee, for a practitioner, how to control the six urges, how to enthusiastically serve. So one must be very patient and tolerant, and what to avoid, what to do and what not to do. Yama and Nima is giving those previous to that. He's also telling what in this verse has been described. One must not consider spiritual master as ordinary human being. That also is describing in the 5th verse of Nectar of Instruction. And so then only, then that means we have a great understanding of the spiritual master and his position and previous acharya's position, and we take it very seriously. And so that's why here the transformation will come to the degree we follow the previous acharya's instructions. So without questioning, one must accept as it is. So why Shastra says here this? That means, do you know more than Guru, more than Prabhupada? No, we don't know. That's why we have to accept as it is without questioning. If you need clarification, then you approach another representative. Why Prabhupada has said something in that particular occasion, or Guru has said something, then you can ask for clarification, but not in the questioning mood. It's not going to help at all in transformation of progress of the successful devotion service. So in the purport, Prabhupada is giving clearly stated here that the kingdom of God is above the material universe. Just there are many hundreds of thousands of higher planets above the earth. So there are many millions of billions of spiritual planets belonging to the spiritual sky. Brahmaji states here, and the spiritual kingdom is above the kingdom of demigods. One can enter into the kingdom of Supreme Lord only when one is highly elevated, developed in desirable qualities. All good qualities developed in the person of devotees. Prabhupada is going to, this is, I think, this verse is Shasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinja Sarvair Gunair Sattva Samasate Sura Tadhara Abhaktasya Kudo Mahat Guna Davato Vai. One, this is the same point, that Tad Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayedat. Kilam Vitopade. One must follow previous acharyas, how these qualities will develop, because one who is speculate using his mind's direction, then he cannot have transformation. He has to give up these kind of mind speculations. He has to follow exactly the prescription given, whether it's worshipping the deity or making the garland, any services, even chanting the holy name also, how to be chanted, how to be heard, exactly what Guru and Sri Prabhupada is giving in instructions. Time, place, circumstance. It's the same chanting of the holy name, but sometimes, depending on our circumstance, our situation, Guru may tell you, okay, because of your situation, you may not be able to chant 16 notes in this way. So you may have to chant in this way. Yes, it is all right for you specifically. Okay, all right, you can sit in the class and chant. Also, that is only given to specific members depending on his situation. But it is not prescribed for everybody. Everybody shouldn't be chanting while driving. Everybody shouldn't be chanting while sitting in the class. All these things must be very carefully understood. Yes, and that means we are using our mind's instruction. It is all right. Other person is chanting, I can follow. No, that your instruction is different from, but general instruction is to chant the holy name of the Lord, sitting at one place and try to hear attentively. 16 rounds, try to finish in the morning. That's how the morning program is established by Sri Prabhupada. Whether you are at home, if you are not able to come to temple, at least watch Mangalarti. You can attend Mayapur, Vrindavan, LA. So many temples has online also. Hopefully, we'll make it available online of our temple also at some point. But this is the practice. And the idea is to practice that attending Mangalarti and chanting the holy name, Tulsi, all these aspects one must try to follow as much as possible. But at least out of all that, 16 rounds of chanting is the topmost priority, which is the prescription given by Srila Prabhupada. That's when these qualities will develop out of all those 26 qualities. So, Shasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. That also is elaborately explained in the purport. You cannot become, you are thinking you are possessing something, but what you possess, we possess nothing. The minute you surrender to spiritual master, everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to Guru and Krishna only. Your money, what you're earning, everything. Nothing is our own. Nothing. So we must treat accordingly as Guru's property. Every penny we are spending is Guru's property. We must utilize very carefully. As we have example also, so Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's Maharaj Prabhupada's disciple, Nishikant Sanyal. He was a Grahastha. And he was working but he was a great exemplary devotee or disciple of his guru. So he was working, but he was giving all his money to Osha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He was maintaining the family. He was sending what is needed at his home, all the grocery, whatever is needed. He was asking, where are you getting all this? Guru is sending. Oh, then he told, oh, this is Guru's property. Don't waste a penny. Very carefully utilize it. He was telling his wife. This is exemplary devotee. You cannot imitate because we are not at that platform to operate. So it will come naturally to the degree we follow the instructions of Guru. First, we have to hear. We have to hear regular basis. So Krishna is arranging, giving you the time. Don't give excuse that I don't have time, Prabhu. I have to chant 16 round. I have to take care of family. I have to run to work. Yes, we made these choices. We made our life complex in such a way that Krishna has taken away the opportunity to hear from Guru. If you make it simple, our life simple, you are really surrendered, you are sincerely praying to Sri Prabhupada and Guru and Supreme Lord Nityananda especially, then they will make arrangement. They will make your complex life into simple life. They will make your work arrangements also make it simple in such a way that you have less burden, less anxieties, so that you can even chant while you are at work or read or hear or something. You have all these flexibilities will be adjusted by Supreme Lord's arrangement, by seeing the super soul is watching what this soul really wants. Is he operating on his mind platform or is he really want to follow Guru's instructions? Or Guru's representative's instructions? We must be always, initiation is only beginning, but after that, to the degree we follow, to that degree only transformation will happen, as it is mentioned. Otherwise, there is no transformation. We'll stay where we are. We'll continue with the offensive chanting. We'll go on. We'll never be able to come out of this. So that's why it's very important to follow this Tadanuragi Jananugami. So Guru and his representatives. Otherwise, there is no transformation whatsoever. You can't progress. Progress is right there checked. So that's why Nectar of Instruction, the one book, one must carefully read it and remember it and gradually realize it, so that we know what to avoid, how to be strict in our sadhana, how to measure our success in terms of our chanting, in terms of waking up, whether somebody is there or not, whether we are at somebody's house, relative's house, or friend's house, or traveling, doesn't matter. This is what Srila Prabhupada has showed by his own example. That's what his representatives are showing example by practicing very severely this Krishna consciousness. This is how the success is measured in corporate world and other places. They are measuring success by how much you are earning, how much you are able to expand the business. But this measure of success for us is how much we are practicing this Krishna consciousness in terms of Sri Prabhupada's process, which is chanting in the morning, reading Bhagavat in the morning, evening Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book in the night. This practice, how much we are, that is how we can progress. We can check our progress in our spiritual life, whether we are progressing at what level. To the degree we are following his instructions, even the simple, even though we may not be doing other things much, but if we are doing simply these things, simple, very simple, then the progress is there. So even we may not be preaching, but at least if we are doing these simple things every day without fail, as much as we are trying, then there could be a gap one or two times once in a while because of some situation, but that is forgiven. But at least as much as 99% we are trying to be in the same, following the instructions of Sri Prabhupada, then that's where the strength comes. That's where Super Soul is giving the strength, the patience, the determination, whatever we need. Yoga Kshema, Anyas Chantayam Toma. This is what Ananyas Chantayam Toma means. Following Guru's instruction to the 99.9%, 100% full focus is there on Guru's following. That means we will be hearing from Guru. We will be hearing from Sri Prabhupada a regular basis, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We have to make that practice, make it our choice in our life. Somehow or the other, I have to read. I have to hear from Sri Prabhupada. I have to hear from Guru. Then only, because we don't know what is our exactly what is our adhikar is, what is our qualification is. So accordingly, only Guru prescribes. So that's why you have to follow Guru's instruction. Already 7:02. We'll stop here. But a very lengthy, very important purport. We have to read and realize it. Thank you very much. If there are any comments, questions, we can discuss as long as, if not, we can post in Nityam Bhagavad Seva. Nandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, and Hera Panchami ki jai. Today is important. We haven't even discussed that. Hera Panchami, there is a beautiful description in Murari Gupta's Karacha, also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think Murari Gupta Karacha has a detailed description in some other books. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions?
Very well. Thank you, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. So, we'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to Supreme Lord by chanting 3 times. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama. Hare Hare.
Shri Narsingha, Jai Narsingha, Jai Jai Narsingha, Praladesha, Jai Pradamakapadlingam,
Ugraviram Mahavistanam Sarvatomukam Narasimham Vajramurtyo Namami.
Narsingh Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Ki jai.
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 Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpataru
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namaha.
Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Pada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari 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 Bol.